honest, none of my teams won this weekend. It's the way it goes. Going to be a short one. Unless you ask some questions.
Well, last time Niagara won was back in the series here in November, and they were picked to finish second.
We're moving on. I like that.
Well, I thought you said
we're moving on.
Kind of have that sense of urgency, like to get out of here.
No. I got time. I always got time for you guys.
Do you have any idea why they've struggled this year?
I have no idea. I'm still licking my wounds from the weekend series against Army, and Joe and I have been watching film from the weekend on the Army series for since 9 o'clock this morning, and just watching and discussing, and right now our group, as you know, this has been a good group, and we like them and we like working with them, but I think we've stalled. I think we've stalled, and we went into Army and we had an opportunity to win the first game, and let me tell you, Army's got a good team. They're legit. They could win early. They got 3 seniors that are really, really good players. They've been good players for a while, but very, very talented with Wilkinson and Wilson and Franco. And we put ourselves in a position for the upset and on Friday, in a great position, and mainly, I don't want to say it was all Schilling, but Schilling did what Schilling needed to do, put us in a position for the upset, and they fondled the puck off and went off his skate and went in the net with 30 seconds left. It was very fortuitous, and then we went into a 3-on-3 and a deep shootout. Might have been, other than for drama, other than the double overtime game that we beat them to eliminate them and move to the Atlantic Final Four 2 years ago, arguably might have been the most exciting Army Air Force game that is that a fair statement? I mean, it was unbelievable, and that they pulled the goalie, tied it. Went into a 3-on-3. Both teams played that, real tight. Nobody really went for a whole lot, and went through the 3-on-3 and got to the shootout. And the 2 goalies were magnificent. And what did it go? 8 rounds? 9 rounds? 9 rounds of sudden death shootout, and their guy scores. And it was a full house. They had all the cadets were there because they had a Sammy the next day, and that which got canceled because they won. But I'm there, and obviously I wanted to win, and I'm not happy. But I'm looking around at that rink, and I'm going, this is why we do what we do. This is why we went to this concept. I mean, those people will be talking about that game forever and how it finished and the long shootout. Other than the fact, unfortunately, that we didn't get the extra point, that we didn't win and then get the second point, the environment, it was fantastic. And those people that came, they witnessed. Bob Meade was there. Steve Meade was a former player of ours. Bob Meade comes whenever we play. He's from Philadelphia. And Bob texted me and said it was the most exciting Army Air Force game that he's ever seen. And he comes all the time whenever we're there. And it was kind of cool. And then the second night we went out, and to be honest with you, they had more than we had. And they had more than we had. They were the better team. They found a way to score some goals. We've got some holes right now. We've got to tidy up some things in our game. We have plateaued. We've leveled off a little bit. And now we got a few guys out of the lineup, but so Army had a few guys out of the lineup too. And but I'm a little concerned with where we're at right now. And like I said, there's just some sloppiness in our play. Mentally, we just weren't as sharp as we need to be, especially if we plan on making an ascent. Our special teams, they dominated us on the dot when they needed to. They put a lot of pressure on our penalty kill because we didn't win many draws. The same thing on the power play. They put a lot of pressure on us because we were forced to play in zone way too much. We've got to find some answers on the dot. Right now, Niagara is not the enemy to me right now. The enemy is the one we're looking at in the mirror right now. We got to tidy our game up a little bit, and Niagara's going to come here. They got good players, and they're going to play hard. And this is more about us than it is our opponents.
How about Marshall? Is he going to be back this weekend?
Good question. Marshall wants to be back, and he's optimistic. We'll see where that's at come Friday. But he's optimistic. I texted him last night, and Doc Schumer, and he's made good progress, and he wants back in there.
How about Cruz?
Cruz I don't know that one. He's got the broken finger, and that's a little funkier. I don't have a definitive answer on that. The one thing I can say is Luke Rowe went in for him, and Luke Rowe did not let us down in any way, shape, and form. Fair statement, Toll? Toll's the eye in the sky, and as Garney told me last week, hey, Toll 22 years ago didn't know a blue line from a clothesline, and now he's the resident expert. And no, Toll is a legit hockey man, and I don't remember going down and having to talk to him about anything. He's aggressive. He turns pucks around. He's proactive. He shoots it. He plays within the framework of our system. So, that was a one residual benefit. And of course, losing Cruzer's nothing good about that. But it got Rowe a chance. And if Cruz does come back, I doubt if you'll see Rowe be the guy being pulled out of the lineup.
Coach, just a question about the AIC and this Army series where I think your team gave up 2 or 3 goals in a short span there. I mean, what was it in that span that hurt this team and ultimately maybe cost you the game that you need to clean up moving forward now?
Just mental lapses, and we aren't very tidy. We just went over a number of plays where on the breakout, like we get first touch, blue jersey, we get first touch. Well, when you get first touch, it's got to be blue jersey to blue jersey. And granted, they're being pressured, but it can't be blue jersey to white jersey. It goes blue jersey to white jersey, nothing good is going to happen. And, our down low play in our corner, our power play was terrible on Saturday. They got a couple goals for us on Friday. Saturday didn't get us anything. Actually got us in trouble. They got the first goal on a shorty. You know what? We got a long ways to go. We are in transition. Like, we don't want this to be I don't like to talk about rebuilding years. I'm too old to be rebuilding. I want to reload. And But I don't know where this thing is going. Hopefully we can pull this together. We've been optimistic, again, on being that team come late February that nobody wants to face. But if you watched the game against us last Saturday against AIC, if you watched the game last Saturday against Army, you're not going to be that much fearful about having to play us in a playoff series, especially if it's on the road.
Coach, you talk a lot about the parity in college hockey. You see a lot of weekends where teams split. Because of that, unlike, in college football where there's not much parity at all, why isn't the sport of college hockey a little more popular just nationally, do you think?
I don't know. It's I don't even know how to answer that. It's still, I think, in college more of a geographic thing, the NHL is big right now. There's a lot of competition, for the entertainment dollar. To be honest with you, some people, we draw really well here. Army draws really well. There's some teams that draw really well, and there's teams that don't draw flies. And I think you almost have to go into each individual market and see, what the problem is, what the issue is. Hopefully with Colorado College, they draw okay, but the World Arena is big and it's cavernous and there's a lot of seats in there. Hopefully when they get on campus and there's less seats and it's easier access for the students, that type of thing, that they're going to be able to create a great college environment there. But, you go to Grand Forks. I mean, then that's the gold standard. Going to Engelstead Arena. I mean, that's all they got in North Dakota. Is North Dakota hockey for big time Division I. Their football teams at state and at North Dakota State, and North Dakota are big, but they don't play at the BCS level. North Dakota hockey is it. North Dakota. They've got the same thing going that Nebraska football has going in Nebraska. It's the biggest sports entity in the state. And but you look at Minnesota right now, Mariucci Arena. You watch the games in there, a lot of empty seats. That never used to be the case. So I think it's probably you'd have to look at each individual market. All I know is we're blessed to have a great fan base here. Our building isn't always packed to the gills, but it's never empty. Never empty.